We are live. Welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports. We hope that you guys are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Huge show in store for you here tonight. We give you, as always, as we do every Thursday on this show, our 5 keys to victory. In games like this, as it always is keys to victory, it's mainly more things I want to see from this team this week against an Army team that is not as good as you, a 2-4 Army team. But look, we got the notes. Okay, I wrote a lot of things down here, front page and back page, pause. But a lot of things that we can discuss, a lot of things that just if you see this Saturday against Army, you feel really good going into the game in Tuscaloosa versus Alabama. So we'll talk about those 5 keys. Brian Kelly gives final update. Gave us some things, not a lot, but really emphasized, and I don't think it was coach speak, in reference to like, hey, man, we're doing a lot of things for Army. We love it. We love the service academies. We got to go out there and play football. Also gave a pretty like behind-the-scenes look about Jaden Daniels. We'll discuss on that. I thought was really interesting as well. We'll touch on that. Jay Johnson, who, by the way, is constantly killing it in recruiting. And just newsflash, if you're not on the forum, AYSSnetwork.com, you need to be on there. Just dropped a little nugget, as they call it in the business. Just dropped a little nugget. I would expect for you to be looking out for something on Sunday from us. But I do think that you'll get some news sooner than that. But nevertheless, Jay Johnson gets a new 7-year deal worth $12.55 million, which makes him one of the highest paid coaches in the country. It's easily deserved. And if one wasn't enough, Jay Johnson, in the recruiting realm of things, wants another one. That dude's hungry, man. He wants more. So shout out to Jay Johnson for everything that he is doing always. Yes. I see a couple comments. Blake's not wearing his black and orange hat. He's wearing a Saints hat. Yes, we will talk a little Saints pregame at the end. We will. I do, before we do talk some Saints, kind of want to go in a little bit, pause, on this Harbaugh thing. Come on, bro. Come on. Like, okay, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it, but we'll see. We'll see. But I am going to touch on that here tonight. And as we do every Tuesday and Thursday, hashtag Ask Blake, thoughts, questions, concerns. Fire them inside of the Rudy Crew chat, and we'll get to them as much as we want. Part what you want. Says, please don't. You got shades on in your profile picture acting like you're cool, dog. You don't wear shades inside. Terry. Yes, Brian Kelly did give an update on Deuce Chestnut. And Terry says, Blake, any idea what's up with Deuce Chestnut? I have my Terry, I have my thoughts. Right? Like I have my thoughts, and I've heard some things, but I will continue to say this. It's just not a good look, regardless of what happened. Because at this point, at this exact moment, there's nothing that can be said that would change some people's opinions or minds, no matter what's said. And quite frankly, I may be in that boat. I've heard a lot of things. Don't think Deuce Chestnut is a bad player, bad kid. But, you know, I mean, we'll see. Brian Kelly said he's inactive. Said he's on the roster, he's on scholarship, but he's inactive. So, I mean, look, You take that for what it is. Especially in a room where they need corners, they can use every help that they can get. Now, he hadn't been great, but he has, if I'm not mistaken, the only interception from a corner this year. So, I mean, nevertheless, you always need help there. It goes to tell you, a little bit of what's going on. L. Ricks on YouTube says Williamsburg, Virginia, by the way of Alexandria, Louisiana, in this spot. Blake, your show is good stuff, brother. Thank you so much, L. Ricks, for being here with us. Chris Lomax says, let's go from the 901 Covington, Tennessee. Good to see you in here. Robert Richards says 225 is where it's at. Yeah, we're currently in the 225 technically. I always say I'm in the 985, but then realize that this isn't the 90. I'm not in the 985. I'm in the 225. So I'm a resident of the 225 now. Stand up, you heard me? I might, man, I got a haircut for not this Saturday, but next. I might be go get me a Boosie fade. Since I'm now a resident, been a resident, I don't know, for the 225 for a while now. Never going to forget about the 985. John Sibley Butler says, time of the year to play. Things should be fairly settled for the Tigers. Very much so. Very much so. So, yeah. Wayland is in Kinder. Good to have you in here. Kinder in the house. Hobart, Louisiana, says Christian Nielsen. Irwinville 225 says Trent. Good to see y'all here. Krim says LOL, I guess, to the Boosie fade. Y'all, Krim, you laughing at my Boosie fade? BOOSIE. That's how you know, like, bro, when guys be rapping, like, they could just spell their name and we think that, like, we start screaming it. So what if I came out on the show and just started, spelling my name? BLAKE. Like, it doesn't hit the same. It doesn't hit the same. RUFF. Like, it that doesn't hit like that. Doesn't hit like that. Pinky is in the building. It's Pinky. He says, Canton, Ohio, by the way of BR. Pinky. Brett B says he's in Harahan. Good to have you both all in here with us tonight. So, yeah, we got a lot to discuss. We got 5 keys to victory. Got our paper pop, as our good friend Josh Pate says. Jay Johnson, recruiting. I know that a lot of you want to continue to talk to recruiting. You just head on over to ayssnetwork.com, man. /form. Sign up today. $7 a month. You're going to really want to be a part of it because LSU is about to do some things. People in the comments freaking out about recruiting. Let me just tell you this. You might want to save the comments for about a couple weeks. Save the comments. Just hold on. Don't do it. Oak Park, Illinois, says Tristan Williams. Stephen Young says, get rid of Robert Steeples and go get Chevis Jackson from Marshall. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Don't know if that's going to happen, brother. John Butler says, rapping cannot replace Motown and a whole bunch more music. Yeah. I'm a Luther Vandross, a little Anita. Definitely set this party off right kind of dude. David Woodard says, at Blake, do you think BK will make some coaching changes at the end of the year? Look, man, this is what I'll say, because I've been asked this question more than anything last week. Do I think he does? If I had an opinion, yeah, I do think he will make some changes. But I don't know if he will. Like, it'd be strictly opinion at this point. Like, and I don't know who it would be. Offensively, hell no. Y'all remember the meme? Hell no to the no, hell to the no. Nobody needs to leave offensively. Just defensively, mainly, you've had some issues. Now, I will tell you, you need to give them until signing day if your biggest concern is recruiting. And I get it, corners is a big issue, but look, Steeples does not make the plan to go in the portal, right? Like Steeples does not make that plan, and he's got to learn some things. But that was not his plan. So, but you do got to get better. And I think that they've recruited the DB room well, specifically at safety. I don't think that they're done at that specific position. They do need to get better at corner and develop some guys quicker than what they probably expected. But I do think that they're recruiting at a high level. Guys, I still believe that they're going to end with a top 5 class. And BK would be the first coach since Saban, or maybe Les. But I don't think Les had 3 back-to-back years of top 5. Maybe I'm wrong. Because I was not in recruiting that heavily back then. He had a lot of good classes, but Brian Kelly is doing something really good. And I'm just not going to stress over it yet. I'll let you know when you should stress. I don't think right now is the time, man. I do not think right now you should be freaking out. A lot of kids are going to flip. Guys, there's chatter out there that dudes are about to flip from Bama, right? Auburn flipped a dude from Bama and Georgia. So it's going to happen, man. It is going to happen. Just give them time. All right. We got a lot to discuss. We got a lot to get into here tonight. Steven says Andre Evans basically said LSU can't develop cornerbacks. Well, that's not true. Mekhi Garner literally was going to go undrafted, wasn't even going to play in the league, and then got developed and is there. Going based off a word of who? A 17-year-old? Kirby saying it? Kirby, for 6 years, couldn't develop an offense, and then a walk-on with curly hair saved his ass. Okay. All right. Calm. I'm telling you, save the comments, man. It does not benefit me to come out here and say, chill. No, he came from St. Louis. Chill. Because if I'm wrong, I look like a dumbass. That's why everything that I say is very calculated. That's why, dude, all night long, like it's highly calculated shit. I'm not just going to come out here and just ramble. Some nights I'll come out here and ramble on a specific topic, but it has its structure. I'm telling you, don't do it. You're gonna look dumb. I see some people freaking out about it. Don't do it. I've been saying this shit for a long time, been doing this shit for a long time. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because when you do and you freak out, okay, sometimes it's not going to work out. I guarantee you some things are going to happen and you're going to really like it. If things, from what I hear, but it's recruiting. Here's the crazy thing. It's also recruiting. So what I'm saying right now, tonight at 9:00 can completely change. It always happens, but I feel confident. All right. Let's talk about our good friends over at betonline.ag, our good friend Tyler Alexander over at eXp Realty. Listen, got the Saints game tonight. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. Play the Jags and Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has never won a game in the Superdome. Maybe that benefits the Saints a little bit. Go over to BetOnline if you want to bet on that game. During the game, live betting, whatever you want to do, go over to BetOnline. Use that promo code BELIEVE50 to receive a 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. Believe where the game starts. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all those social media groups. Share to all those social media pages. Wherever you listen to a podcast, rate, review, and subscribe. You guys continue to kill it on the podcast. There's so many of you that watch our live shows. Just do us a favor when you have time. Go over there and hit that like button. Give us the 5-star rating. We did have some Rudy Poos the last week. If you haven't done so, some Rudy Poos went over there and gave us some 1 stars. It always affects us when people do stupid stuff like that. We had one person rate us as a 1-star and said because as the reason. Like, come on, man. Like, you got to report that kind of stuff, but it brings stuff down because. All right, well, that's really fair. All right. Some of us make a living doing this, and just because you don't agree with an opinion doesn't mean anything. We can agree to disagree. All right. Where if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, hit that like button as well. Wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, subscribe. We said that. You're watching us on Fubo TV. Welcome. Let's talk about BetOnline. We got a lot to discuss. We do that next. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
We're back. No time to waste. 5 keys to victory. So listen, I know we do these every week, and some of them are things that you 1000% have to do. In a game like this, these aren't necessarily things you have to do to win. I don't think Army's are good when we just look at them as a football team. Don't know if they're backup. Don't know if their quarterback's going to start. They might have to go to a backup quarterback. That could hurt you in a way because you're not preparing for them. But there's not a lot to really break down here. There's some things you do have to do defensively. Offensively, just be yourself. Let's go through them. Number 1, start fast, score quickly. Started off. So last week, you started off very hot on offense. You scored 17 points. You came out guns blazing. You kind of hit a cold stretch in the middle of the game, but then you completely picked it up. Jaden Daniels goes off again, goes for another 400 yards. Should be one of the front runners for the Heisman, right behind Michael Penix. He's not. Under Jaden and in Jaden's time at LSU, you have had some times where you've started off slow. Last couple weeks, Missouri, you still scored a pretty fair amount of points, 16 points in the first half. If you score 32 points in any game, you should be in it. But we all know how that went down. You wind up coming out in the second half. You would start dominating. Score fast and score quickly. Do what you did a week ago. Because last week, really and truthfully, was your best overall performance of the year. You can say Grambling. You can say, whomever. The best performance that LSU's had this year was against Auburn. I don't have any I sound like a broken record, and I know that I do because at the end of writing down these 5 keys to victory, I feel like I've said this so much, but it's true. I have nothing really to say about the offense. Now, I would like to see some of the younger guys get in there. I would like for you to get out to an early lead, take control, take over the football game. Maybe we can see an extended time of Garrett Nussmeier. Maybe we can see some extended time of some of these freshmen on the offense. Maybe you can get some of these younger DBs, maybe like Stamps and Javian Taviano. Maybe we get a Kylan Jackson emergence defensively. Maybe you can see some Quincy Wiggins. But to do that, you got to take over and take hold early. To do that, number 2, number 3, and number 4 are absolute must that you have to accomplish again this week defensively. Number 2. So let me just back up. I don't know what else to tell this offense. Like I score more. I mean, maybe convert some more third downs, even though you're the second team in the country on third down conversions. Jaden, get down, slide, don't take big hits, which he did last week. He definitely knows now, like, hey, man, I cannot take these hits. I'm going to hurt my team if I get hurt. Got to get out of bounds, got to get down. That's it. That is it. Emory Jones is out, and which we'll get to. Brian Kelly announced that Mekhi Wingo and Emory Jones is out. So we now will get the first start in the history of Lance Hurd. He wants to go by Lance Hurd. That's why I call him that. People say, Blake, his name's Lance. Well, he told Carter Bryant that he wants to be called Lance. So we're going to call him Lance. First start for the big guy at right tackle. And I don't think that they're going to do anything that anybody else hasn't thrown at him this season when he's been in there. Mississippi State sent some exotic blitzes at him. Auburn last week did some exotic things when he came into the football game, and he played very well. I have no worries about Lance Hurd at right tackle. Zero. Zilch, nada. Not a damn thing am I worried about Lance Hurd at right tackle. I'm glad that he gets the start. I'm not glad that it comes on the injury of Emory Jones. Brian Kelly does seem to feel that he is going to get the big guy back, Emory, maybe by Bama. We'll see how that progresses through the bye week and into the week going into Bama. But I do feel good at Lance Hurd at right tackle, so that would be about it. Number 2, continue to tackle better in space. So the second half against Missouri, really from the second quarter on, so second, third, and fourth quarter against Missouri, other than one big play, you tackled a lot better in space. The last 7 quarters, you can see that they've done that. So we talked about this week that LSU had more missed tackles against Ole Miss than Auburn and Missouri games combined. Got to tackle better. And look, there's one thing that you've been able to do in these last 7 quarters is you've been, to some extent, better at stopping the run game. 139 yards you gave up on the ground against Auburn. Not great, and it's not great. And this team in Army is going to want to come in here and run every single play. They may have more than that, but they're not going to throw the ball. First and second down is crucial because if you make Auburn a throwing team, you're more than likely going to get some 3 and outs. They're going to give you some misdirections. They're going to do some exotic things offensively. They're going to get creative early in the game. Don't let that worry you or bother you. Don't let that worry you or bother you because they're going to want to come in here and win. You got to stop them. You got to stop them. 4 rushers last week for Auburn had 23 carries for 82 yards. If you take Cobb out, he had a big run, which, you probably shouldn't take the 69 yards out that he had last week. But LSU's been better in the run game over the last 7. If you're going to be able to shut teams down in the running game and be able to get a decent pass rush, it's going to help you out defensively. We see now that you can do it. We saw some of it against Mississippi State. We saw it through 3 quarters at Missouri. We saw it all last week. Continue to build off of that. Is that a Pete Jenkins thing? We'll see. But I have faith that you can go in here and just dominate. I really do. And a team that is going to run zone reads, counter zone reads. They're going to throw a lot of zone read principles. They're going to do a lot of things, which then leads to number 3, play discipline. In a game like this, against a team that, they're going to be in shotgun, but they're still going to run a lot of the same principles. If you don't play discipline, listen, they don't have the athletes that you do. They don't. But if you don't play disciplined, things can get hairy for you if you don't play discipline. The veer, the zone read, all of this is predicated on making the defense make mistakes. Malik Neighbors' touchdown last week, when he catches the ball in the flat, goes for 29 yards and scores, is a breakdown defensively, mainly due to it's a zone read where or what some now want to call an RPO. But it's a zone read where Jaden could give it to the running back, he can pull it and run, or he could hit the player down in the flat. It's a triple option. And you have run a lot of that this year offensively, where teams don't know what to do. You confuse the shit out of them. They think, oh, well, I can't go out in the flat because if I go in the flat, Jaden Daniels is going to take off on me. He's going to get 35 yards in the score like he did against Missouri a couple of weeks ago. If you don't play disciplined, Army's not going to beat you, okay? They're not. But they can make some things hairy for you. They can make your life difficult. Do your job. Be fundamentally sound. This will be in every the play discipline will probably be in every key to victory moving forward defensively from here on out. We talked about yesterday, and I used some of what we call the sources, the sauces. But BK has gotten more hands-on with this team defensively, and I do think that this is an interesting game to show that he has. What do I mean by that? Brian Kelly is a very fundamental human being. He wants it to be done fundamentally sound, correct, sound football. Well, this is a perfect game to see that. You are very fundamentally sound last week against Auburn. Let's translate that. Don't overlook this team. Like, let's go out there and kick somebody's ass. Like, I know teams and players can get down. You're playing Army. Yeah, whatever. Let's go out there and whip somebody's candy ass. Act like The Rock. If you smell with The Rock, is kick some candy ass. Lay it to smack it down on somebody. You know, we talk about this in other sports when you play inferior opponents. It's stats. It's a stats game for you. Go do it. Don't pity pat around with their ass. Go get you a couple of TFLs. Go get you generate a fumble. Do what you got to do. And then you have a bye week, and then Bama. You have time to rest. Lay it all on the line. Balls to the wall, pause, but balls to the wall. Go knock somebody's head off. I know that sounds horrible to some extent because you're playing the service academy. I'm with you. But at some point, you got to talk about the football game and what you got to do. They're going to run the ball and want to knock your block off. They're not coming in here to play pity pat with you. They're not going to come in here and say, patty cake, Baker's man. They're going to run the ball down your throat if you don't play fundamentally sound. Patty cake, Baker's man. I mean, I guess I should know that because I have a 1-year-old, but you get my drift. Number 4, third down. I know that I can sound like a broken record with this, but this is true. Teams that get off the field and stay on the field on third down, go look at them. Go look at the teams last year. You want to know the 4 best teams last year on third down conversions? Number 1, Georgia. Number 2, Michigan. Number 3, TCU. Number 4, Ohio State. What were your playoff teams last year, I might ask? Oh, Georgia, TCU, Michigan, Ohio State. It's interesting. Last 2 weeks, LSU was on defensively was 3 of 16 against Auburn. They were 4 for 11 against Missouri. When you get off the field on third down, you win football games. When you stay on the field, which, again, we could talk about this offensively, but Jaden Daniels is so clutch and good on third down. So clutch. Guys, he is the number 1. This is Pro Football Focus that we're sourcing here. He is the number 1 quarterback in passing yard efficiency ADOT has been a big thing. Scramble yardage. He leads the country in every single metric on third down. Offensively, at some point you just say, yeah, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Pat him on the ass. Pause. But pat him on the ass. Say, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. But the last 2 weeks on defense, you went 7 of 23. You've gotten teams off of the field. Or they've only converted, I should say, 7 of the last 23 times that they've been on the field on third down. Guys, that's 30.4%. 30.4%. If you continue to play like that, even if it's 40%, I'm going to tell you, 35, 40%, you're going to win every game from here on out. You're going to win every one of them. Like there's not a I don't even remotely question that anymore with this offense. If that's something that you can turn the corner and be great at, not good, but great at, guys, 30% is you're getting to the elite category. Georgia last year was 26%. Just for reference, the best defense that we'd seen in a long time was 26% on third down a year ago. You're at 30% the last 2 weeks. It doesn't look like that because the first quarter, Missouri was 3 for 3 on third down. You only gave up one more third down conversion in the last 3 quarters of that game, and then you go into Auburn that you only let them convert 3 of the 12 times. Elite stuff. Teams that do that, and it's the biggest stat that I look at. The biggest stat that I look at for every game, I tell you this, third down, the money down. If you're going to play that efficiently defensively, you're going to win a lot of football games. Number 5 and final. I am not saying for this team to play less aggressive. So when I say this, understand this comes with a little bit of I am going to need you to understand exactly where I'm coming from. I don't want them to play any less aggressive. But LSU the last 2 weeks, they've had 23 penalties for 183 yards. Repeat that. 23 penalties for 183 yards. That's got to be fixed. Like, it's got to be fixed. You cannot allow teams, especially from this point forward, you cannot, even Army to some extent, you can't allow Alabama, you can't allow Florida, you can't allow Texas A&M that much yardage and not think that you're going to get in a tussle. The reason that Auburn game started getting closer and they were only down 10 points, in that time frame, guys, you gave up 55 yards in penalties. 55 yards in penalties. When you do that, bad things start happening. Now, I'm not saying play less aggressive, not saying any of that. You cannot have 23 penalties in 2 weeks. I think it should have been more of a talking point when people were talking to Brian Kelly. Like, hey, coach, have you been working on any of these penalties the last couple of weeks? 23 for 183 yards is too much. It's too many. I would assume in their meeting rooms that it has been something that they have discussed a lot about. But I'm not saying get rid of all penalties because I don't think, like, you know, as much as I hate to say this, I don't mind the Lance Hurd penalty. I don't mind that Lance Hurd penalty because he was kicking that dude's ass. Jaden just so happened to scramble, and he got caught holding. That doesn't really bother me. He's a freshman. Like, I think LSU had a face mask, Sage Ryan. leaned down at the knees. The guy bent down, Cobb bent down, and he was going to wrap up. And as Sage Ryan was trying to wrap around his waist and the dude ducked down, he got a piece of the face mask. That's 15 of the 100 yards that you gave up last week. Those kinds of things, I'm just kind of yeah, chalk it up to the fucking birds, because that's 25 yards that just it's so dumb. Another thing, the clapping penalty, the disconcerting signals penalties. I don't expect LSU to continue to have those. That's back-to-back weeks. And let me just preface this. I don't know how much college football you watch. This is happening around the country. So somebody in their stupid ivory tower at the NCAA said, let's make this a big deal. Well, first off, you ate colors as a kid. You ate crayons as a kid. You probably shaved down color pencils and snort them. Okay? You're an idiot. If a DB is clapping with 102,000 people around him to get the attention of a DB, what are we doing? That's only 3 penalties. The other 9 were stupid ones. You can't have silly-ass false starts. You can't have, the whole O-line having a false start, stupid shit like that you can't have. But it's still got to get cleaned up now. It's still got to get cleaned up. Again, I know you don't want to hear that. You don't want to talk about that because, quite frankly, you get to a point where you're just like, Blake, you just shut up, bro. Shut up, bro. We're kicking we're on winning streak. And I get it. Got to clean it up. All right. Brian Kelly, I'll get to a couple comments, but Brian Kelly did address the media today. Let me get to our notes on him with that. Just a quick to give you what he said in his press conference. This is his last press conference of the week. And I don't even think he's doing one on Monday. We did talk about Deuce Chestnut. Says he's inactive, but still on scholarship. Brian Kelly also said that they practice on red zone work earlier than usual this week. He thought about the timing was off on a few plays offensively, which has contributed to settling for field goals instead of getting 7. Wants to get a little better there. We talked about Emory Jones and Mekhi Wingo being out. Chris Hilton, the wide receiver, is back, which is massive. So those are the 3 big updates that Brian Kelly gave. All right, a couple comments, then we'll get to a break and talk some. I want to mention Jay Johnson for just a second. Christian Nielsen says Denver Harris doesn't take kindly to coaching, period. Yeah, I mean, I hear the arguments, and I know that there are people out there screaming from the rafters about Denver. I mean, guys, it's not as if, look, here's the truth. And I think if you had a true conversation, without yelling and bullshitting, which people that, I yell on a microphone, which I get it. Let's cut the bullshit. Okay. Denver has blown multiple assignments. Just because you're not an X's and O's film guy doesn't mean people that cover this team aren't. And when you blow assignments, you're going to get pulled. Do you really believe, with LSU struggling the way that they are, that they said, hey, let's put Sage Ryan over Denver Harris? Sage doesn't blow assignments, man. He might not be a good player sometimes. He might give up some tackles, might not cover the best sometimes. I'm with you. I get it. He also's not out of position. Anyway. Brandon says getting Terry Bussey would be huge, though. It would be. 5-star from Timpson, Texas. It would be. Old Vet says that's supposed to be one of the hallmarks of a BK team. It is. I'm assuming you're talking about the fundamentals. It is. It is. And they're going to have to play it this week. And they're going to have to cut down on the penalties. They're going to have to cut down on the penalties. Conrad says, I'm trying to get fired up for Army. I'm fired up for any time they'll let you tease the ball off, to be real with you. I mean, look, man, I don't know how y'all feel, but I will punch somebody. Not really. I'm saying this figuratively. Like I'm pumped up right now. I hope they play right now. Now we do got the Saints we got to talk about, but Saints too. Hold on, guys. Hold on. All right, I need to get to a break. Let's get to a quick break. I'll talk about Jay Johnson's contract extension. I'll take some more of your questions. We'll talk a little Saints. I might get to that Harbaugh thing too. Don't go anywhere. We're back next. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Falls and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Falls has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements.
By the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Whether you've been injured in an accident, you're preparing for a future with your estate planning, you're getting ready to close in on a real estate deal, or you're about to welcome a new addition through adoption into your family, or you're facing criminal charges, you need very experienced attorneys, and that is what the Drake Williams Law Firm will be able to do for you in navigating the legal system. The door to their cozy office in historic downtown Ponchatoula has been open since 1981. They have helped thousands and thousands of Louisiana families and individuals win cases, close on real estate deals, and regain that peace of mind. Their lawyers over at the Drake Williams Law Firm, Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, are very determined, compassionate, and dedicated to their craft. It's the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by.
One thing I missed out on saying that Brian Kelly mentioned in his press conference earlier, he was asked a question about Jaden Daniels. I don't even remember how the question was asked. And Brian Kelly said that he had to change protocol because basically Jaden Daniels was up at the football labs and facilities before coaches. And he was up there watching film, getting better, going through the virtual thing where he could see the whole field, making reads, staying until 8 p.m. every night. He said he did it every day. You want to know what makes dudes elite? Like, we all think and wonder, and maybe you're elite at your craft. Maybe what you do at your job or what you're doing right now, you're elite in. Maybe you're a business owner. Maybe, you're a physician. No matter what it is that you're doing, you might be elite in, but you have these same type of qualities. Want to know why Jaden Daniels is playing like and maybe is the best quarterback in college? Didn't say prospect. But even though I think you could make an argument, but why he's the best quarterback in the country, in my opinion, right now, it's because of that. The dude's up there at 5 a.m. before anybody there. LSU changing protocol because they wouldn't allow anybody in the building before then. Jaden gets in there. He's already watching film, breaking stuff down. That is what's making your quarterback elite. Guys, he's not good right now. He's not great. He's not average. Your quarterback right now is elite. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't want to hear no BS from people, but back in my day, Tommy Hodson. I don't want to hear that. If Jaden Daniels continues to do what he's doing, he will be the second best quarterback in LSU football history. I do believe, even if God willing, knock on wood, if something did happen, I still think from a talent aspect, he already is. He already is. Kudos to your quarterback, Jaden Daniels. Really quickly. Jay Johnson, first reported by our good buddy over at the Advocate, Wilson Alexander. Jay Johnson got a contract extension. I know that a month ago, I got a little bit of trouble in this. A month ago, I did kind of accidentally leak something on this show just because I'm an idiot and got scolded for it. Jay Johnson received a new 7-year deal for $12.55 million. Jordan fakes back. Swish. That's the game. He's worth every single penny. I mean, Jay Johnson winning a natty in year 2. He's hungry for more, recruiting like he wants more natties. Like, guys, the relationship. Jay has a relationship with Paul, okay? You can't deny that. I mean, he does. And him and Paul talk a lot. The real relationship that he has is with Skip. And he is just in today's day and world where NIL is a thing, Jay is killing it. A lot of people say LSU's behind here, LSU's behind there. I know that some will continue to knock that door down. How in the flying bleep do you think they're doing some of this in baseball? You got to spend money to win. Spending this or doing this for Jay Johnson, guys, it's if he would have got a 7-year, $20 million deal, he'd be worth every penny because he's going to continue to win. He's going to continue to recruit at an elite level. He's going to get dudes here that probably in the past you had no business getting. Jay Johnson is 94-39 at LSU, which means he's won 70.7% of his games. 70%. That's unheard of. 36-23 in the SEC. Still not kind of crazy enough. Still has not won a SEC title, which is wild to think about. It's harder to win the SEC than maybe a national title, but he's won 61% of his games in the SEC. I love covering a Jay Johnson run baseball team. And I just think that they're going to continue to get better. Now, maybe you don't see a guy like Paul Skeens maybe ever again. It took 20-plus years to see another Ben McDonald here, but doesn't mean that you're not going to have dudes on the mound. Cam Johnson's a guy that I never thought was going to be here. I legitimately didn't. And he's up to touching 95, 96, 97. Guys, he's a freshman. Who's to say what that dude's going to look like when he's a junior? You're just recruiting at such an elite level. I'm happy for Jay. I'm glad for Jay. And by the way, Jay just landed another recruit. Okay? Probably you will know soon. I would say within the next 24 hours you will know. I'm telling you. And y'all better give me my props on this. I'm just joking. But Jay just landed another recruit. An elite one. I mean, I shouldn't say elite yet. Jay just landed another massive recruit. I mean, I know a lot of people say Kim Mulkey's the best recruiter on campus. She probably is. And shout out to Kim, the number 1 team in the country. But man, listen. I just think Jay's relentless. I just think Jay's relentless. So for that alone, yeah. I missed this super chat. Dane Bergeron says, Blake, let's go. I have 5 Army buddies I served with in Afghanistan and Iraq. Thank you for your service, Dane, and thank you for them service. Let them know that we said it. Thank you for y'all service. I am taking them to the game. Come have drinks with us on Saturday. Text me. Thank you for the super chat, Dane. Saturday, it's going to be tough. Y'all going to have to come to him if we do something like that. P. Scott sends a $4.99 super chat. She says, Jaden Daniels proved me wrong. I'm happy I was proven wrong. Some of these football fans, or some of these fans, still complain. So stupid. Second best LSU QB as of right now. I agree, P. Scott. And look, he's proving a lot of people wrong. You know, and here's the thing. I know that I've been on the Jaden train for a long time. And took flack for it. Sometimes you gotta give guys time. Like we are so quick to say, pull this guy's trash, this guy's horrible. And sometimes they just need time. And thank you for the super chat, P. Scott. But he is playing at the elite level, man. There's nobody you can say it's biased, but I would. If anybody says it's biased that Jaden Daniels is not the best player in the country right now, I dare them to come on the show and debate me for it. Please. Please come on the show and debate me because you won't win the argument. I guarantee. It's like your money back or we guarantee it, whatever that commercial is. I guarantee you won't win the argument. I argue for a living. So, please, God, please, Jesus, I'm begging somebody. I am begging somebody. Come do it. All right. We got about 7 minutes. Does anybody want to talk about the Saints? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yes or no? Look, I'll make this really brief. I'll make this very, very, very brief. We had on John Hendricks last night. I'll make it 2 minutes. We had on John Hendricks last night. He covers the Saints for Sports Illustrated. If you don't win tonight, I don't know. They got to win. They have to win. Like this is I know there's not a lot of must wins in the NFL, but you can't go to 3-4. You just can't. You just can't. So, with that being said, we're about to go watch this game, and we're going to get off a little bit early, but come on. All right, let's take a couple of your comments. Chris says no one cares about the Saints. I care about the Saints. Rob Boudreaux says you can't tell me JD is not the best without giving me some better. Yeah, I don't understand him not being I just don't understand him not being higher in that conversation, right? Like, I don't understand it. Like, I legitimately don't. Their worst game, in my opinion, offensively was Florida State, and I still think it was a good performance to some extent because of how good that defense is. If your defense can actually make some stops and get you back into that game, you probably win it. If your defense is better, Jaden Daniels will find a way to win that game for you. Like he did against Bama. Against Bama, you got a couple stops, gave him the ball back, he goes down and scores. He throws the corner back of the end zone. I mean, and the thing is that Jaden is he's clutch too. Like we've seen him be clutch. Right? Like he's had all like total games of having to be clutch. So that's another thing that goes unnoticed. Like having to score on every possession, because if you don't win. That is a tough thing. That's tough, man. Spectrum Wellcare says JD's throwing motion has improved significantly. I think it's improved some. I will agree with that. I think he's quicker with his release, but he just knows what he's doing. He's confident, right? Like he's just so confident. That's what makes a lot of this difference too. Stephen Young says Jay Johnson is a psychopath. Okay. In recruiting, development, and planning, there's no better coach. Psychopath. Psychopaths are what they call serial killers. Maybe he is. Maybe that's a good way of describing it. Maybe I'm wrong. Probably is a good way to describe it. Brandon Reese says Jay Johnson just got a commitment a couple of days ago. Quentin Young is a shortstop from California. He did. He's about to get another one, a massive one that will be here. Here we go. Hold on. Okay. Cannon says the crazy part, Blake, is people are still clamoring for Nussmeier. It's crazy. Yeah, dudes with like high school chin strap beards. Idiots. Like, bro, some of these dudes you find on Twitter, they never played football in their life. Oh, I love the film breakdowns. I like reading coverages. Bitch, you ain't never read a coverage in your life. Okay? Ever. Shut the fuck up. There is nothing in this world that pisses me off more than a dude says, no, I've never played, but I know what cover 3 is. Bitch, no, you don't. Stupid. Our buddy Dane says the best QBs at LSU over the last 20 years took time to develop. This is true. Mark, Flynn, Mettenberger, Burrow, and Jaden Daniels. It's true. It's interesting. And look, man, what's crazy is it could be Garrett too. I mean, guys, let's not forget here. Garrett Nussmeier threw 2 picks and a pick 6. One of those being a pick 6 against Southern. All right, I got time for one more. Chris says, ask Blake, can we please teach the corners to play the ball and stop face guarding? Chris, buddy, look, I wish I had an answer to that. Like, I legit wish I had an answer to that because I don't. I just don't. All right. See y'all Saturday, guys. Let's go. I'm going to watch the Saints. I don't care what y'all do, but I am. See you tomorrow. Peace.